Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and I am a therapist in New York that specializes in the treatment of eating disorders and body image issues. Today I wanted to talk about one of the most basic parts of therapy when it comes to an eating disorder or body image issues. And what that is eating disorders voice, that actually sounds a little crazy. Eating disorder self versus healthy self. Now let me expand on that more. If you ever had experience with someone who struggled with an eating disorder or struggles with an eating disorder yourself and have sought therapy, you absolutely know this concept. So what it is that when you're struggling with something like this, and it could be really various issues, but I'm going to focus on an eating disorder right now, there's usually two parts of yourself that are battling for what it wants or what it needs. That's the eating disorder self or the unhealthy self, which you can also classify it as, or the healthy self. So let me show you an example of how that might play out. So let's say you are going to a party and there's pizza at the party. Now your eating disorder self be like, stay away from that, that's bad for you, it's going to make you fat. And your healthy self might say, well, I haven't eaten all day, I'm hungry, I want the pizza, so why shouldn't I have it? And you can see how this can go back and forth for a very, very long time because your eating disorder will try so hard to make sure that it wins. And what happens is that the longer you go with an eating disorder, especially the longer it's left untreated, the eating disorder tends to start to take up more space in your brain. So imagine it as a pie chart. So we have a pie chart, which is our thinking, our brains, right? And when it comes to this concept, the eating disorder concept, we have part of it is the eating disorder self, and then part of it is a healthy self. Ideally, what we want to see is that the eating disorder takes up a small percentage of that pie chart and the healthy self takes up the rest. So maybe if you're struggling with eating or something like that, ideally we'd like to see you struggling 20% of the time as opposed to 80% of the time. When your healthy self is taking up 80% of your mind, that usually means that you're going to be engaging more in the healthy behaviors and healthy thoughts more often than you're engaging in the eating disorder thoughts. So what happens though is if you continue to go without treatment, without proper treatment, let me make that clear, and in your eating disorder, what tends to happen is that your eating disorder will become stronger and stronger and stronger. It essentially becomes a bully. So once we start getting to, closer to the 50-50, or the eating disorder starts to surpass that and becomes, 60-40 or 80-20, that's when we have even more of a problem. Because there's a healthy self that once you start coming to therapy, that usually is that healthy self. That's usually a part of you that's like, okay, I'm sick and tired of this. I don't want this anymore, but I don't know what to do with it. So usually a person will be able to identify with a little bit of prompting what part of you is the eating disorder talking and what part of you is a healthy self talking. So in the example that I had given earlier, that's a little bit more clear cut, but you could probably see if you go back in the video what is a healthy self and what is the eating disorder self. So a big part of the work in therapy is just figuring that out and figuring out what part of you is talking. And then the next step, and again, this would be something that you would work with your therapist on, the next step is starting to identify that dialogue that you're having within yourself that, no, you shouldn't eat that. Yes, I want it. No, you shouldn't. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Yes, I need to. That dialogue, we want to expand it. And ideally what we would like to do is that expand it for as long as you need until the dialogue makes sure that it ends on a healthy note. So that we can make that pizza dialogue that I made earlier as long as we like, and ultimately it might end up on an eating disorder voice saying, know what, I'm not having that pizza, and that's probably not the healthiest decision for you. But if we elongate it a little further, ideally what we would like is for the healthy self to win, and at the end be like, listen, I know I didn't eat all day, I really do need something. I like pizza, I know that my healthy self likes pizza. One slice of pizza isn't going to kill me, and that's going to be the healthy voice. And yes, there's a lot of back and forth, there's a lot of turmoil in between all of that, and it might not happen all the time. When we talk about expanding the dialogue and making sure it ends on a healthy note, usually we're not going to, well, we don't expect as therapists that it's going to be your entire life, that all of a sudden everything's settled and you know how to work with that and you're always going to end on a healthy note, because that's not how it works. But maybe we could start that one time a day that you are making sure that you're expanding that dialogue. Maybe if it's breakfast, if breakfast is easier for you and that tends to be a little less dominated from your eating disorder, let's start with that. And let's start elongating that conversation so that we can start strengthening the healthy self. And by strengthening the healthy self, then that pie chart that we had earlier, we're going to start lessening the percentage that the eating disorder occupies in your brain and expanding the healthy part of your brain, so that the healthy part of your brain has more of a dynamic and more of a stand to be able to fight back. So what question I would like for you to answer, I'm going to present you with a little bit of a dialogue, and I want you to identify what is, if I ended on a healthy note or an eating disorder note. So let's say I go to a party and there's cake there. However, my eating disorder, or you know what, let me not say what it is. So I'm looking at the cake looks delicious, and I'm saying to myself, I really can't have that. It's sugar, it's bad, it's going to make me fat. But we're saying, okay, maybe it's not so bad. I can have one slice, that's not going to kill me. And then I say to that, well, why would you have that? You don't need that. There's no nutrients in that. So what does it even matter? It's just empty and wasteful calories and fat and all of that stuff. It's okay, but, you know, I know that it's not going to be, maybe it's not the most nutrient based food. However, it's also part of taking care of what I want and what I desire, and that can be a good thing for me. And I really do want that cake, and it's going to feel really crappy if I tell myself, no, I can't have it. So with that little snippet, tell me what you think, if that's the healthy self or the eating disorder self. And if you're really feeling frisky, expand that conversation even more and see what it might be, what it may be for you if you're struggling with those types of things, or what you think a dialogue might look like and how it might continue, and how can you end on a healthy note. So if you like this video, please like it. If you like this type of videos, please subscribe to my channel and talk more about eating disorders, body image issues, and such like that. So I hope to hear from or see you return to these videos and hear from you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.